Let's start that again. All right. Okay. That sounds more like it. Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your meteorologist for the evening, Cloud Hudson. And I get to say that because I made up the word. I made up the word meteorologist. It means comedian / meteorologist because that's what I am. If I am it, then you can't say it's not a real thing. It's a real thing. I'm a real person, so it's a real thing. All right. Are you hearing me well all the way back here? Or should I be getting up? I don't think I need to hyper mic myself. I think this'll do. How we doing out there, folks? I've got my chat on. Introduce yourself. Okay. So, hi, hey, hello. I have not done an update in the past 2 days because I've been having some technical difficulties. I think I accidentally let my computer install updates, and I did not want it to install updates because I am on Windows 10. And I don't want to be on anything other than Windows 10. So if it installs an update, that's no bueno. So I had to do a little bit of figuring out how to uninstall that. I do have some snacks with me tonight. I made myself a nice little snack tray of chocolate chips and Swiss cheese and butter and oranges. I'm living quite lavishly. I know. I love living. I love having food. That's a great thing about being here on April 19th, 2024 is there's food still. Love that food. You know, not everybody has food, even though the earth produces plenty of it. Quite an interesting thing, that whole food distribution system on earth. Who gets to grow food? Who gets to keep the food they grow? All that. Let's start on a different note there instead of dwelling on food security. Let's go to check out our volcanoes. I'm going to go with a different. Okay. And we're going to show y'all my do I want to do it that way? Yeah, I want to do it this way. Okay. Sometimes I'm just not sure what the best setup is. So let's go to Okay, let's check it out. We've got 33 active phase listed here. Let's check out Ruang volcano on the Sulawesi and Sangihe Islands in Indonesia. Eruption plume drifts over 1,000 kilometers, currently over broad part of Celebes Sea and Borneo Island. So this is the eruption plume of the sulfur dioxide concentrates here, concentrations. This is showing, basically, this is the gases, the burps, the plume of sulfur dioxide. Let's watch a little GIF of it. Oh, it's not gonna show much. Well, it's starting here and going out. So it starts here. This is Ruang, and this is where it's going out to. Let's take a look at all info about Ruang. I don't think this is giving you a good picture, so I'm going to switch it back to this one. Okay. Let's see. This is the imagery of the big old plume. This is the first clear image of Ruang volcano after eruptive activity. So this is when people are talking about, okay, so the big headline with this one is it's a new volcano erupting in Indonesia. And there's just been a tsunami watch. Due to all the eruptive activity in the area. It's possible that this is going to affect the ocean waves. This is something that you can see on satellite even. Massive umbrella cloud following Ruang paroxysm episode. So we are definitely actively erupting here in Indonesia. Let's take a look at who else is erupting today. I mean, in the past few days, we've had a lot of eruptions that I can't even. Oh, I guess they also skipped from the 15th to the 19th. Let's see. Rearcast Peninsula has an updated hazard assessment. Semeru in East Java continues to explode, and so does Merapi. There's some images. Dukono. Yeah, we're looking at Ruang a lot. Okay. Currently erupting. Barren Island in the Indian Ocean. Bizimiani in Mount Kamchatka. All of these. Mount Erebus still always erupting down there in Antarctica. Let's take a look at the Rearcast Peninsula. Let's see what we've got. Swarm of small earthquakes. This is what we talked about on Tuesday, how there is a refilling magma chamber under, well, somehow that's more zoomed in. You can see underneath the area, the Svartsengi power plant and Blue Lagoon geothermal hot spring resorts area, just northwest of Grindavik. There's been a small swarm of earthquakes recently, even though there is still an active eruption up here between Hagavel over in the Sudnugskira crater row. That means that even though we've one vent, there is more inflationary movement happening, such that basically, even though it's already, this is a volcano already are you telling me I need to go poop? I'm already pooping. It's one of those things. How are you telling me I have gas and I need to erupt? I'm already erupting. That's the that's the situation here in Grindavik is we're getting a little backed up because we just can't erupt fast enough out of this main crater. So yeah, this is where we are looking at our extent of lava flow. Still got our April 8th map up here. Yeah, it looks like we are in increased danger there. Yeah. Reduced lava flow hazards in most areas except zone 3 and zone 6. Okay, so we're not really looking at lava flow issues. Overall hazard rating in Grindavik has downgraded from a red to an orange. Everything else is the same. So let's go back to, let's see. I think that's all I wanted to touch on with our volcanoes. Oh, I wanted to show a cool picture of Ruang. Ruang. I don't know. Let's see if they've got all the. This doesn't show the pictures that we saw. There's a really great image the other day of, maybe it's, no, that's AI. This is it. There's a really good, no, go back. Really good picture of light out of the erupting volcano. It's gorgeous. Flames, red smoke, lightning filled sky. Oh, that's what else I wanted to look up was sky. This guy's Iceland video was just perfect. We had a co-occurring volcanic eruption and Northern Lights episode. We had the Aurora Borealis. Oh, now we're getting an ad. Okay, well, I guess we're all getting ads. This guy, Marco DeMarco, he got an amazing time-lapse footage of the active eruption with the Northern Lights in the background and some regular terrestrial clouds here in the background too. So I think the little lights you're seeing here are drones also trying to get some of this. This is just gorgeous from April 17th, courtesy of the Associated Press and photographer Marco DeMarco. This has got to be one for the history books of amazing, incredible feats in photography. Why you do time lapse. It's just gorgeous. You can see the prevailing winds going this way at the surface level. So the volcano is, the off-gassing from the volcano and the light from the volcano are showing you the prevailing winds at the surface level. The nighttime atmospheric clouds here are showing you the mid-level, like the mixed level, the cloud level of air, wind directions. And then the third level of flow that you're getting to see from this is the ionospheric level. You get to see the movement of particles and wind at the stratospheric ionospheric level. So the prevailing winds here at the lower level, mid, and extreme upper levels. So that ring is that ring, just like clouds on the ground, it's concentrations of where that reaction could happen. I'm just going to play this again. It's just so beautiful. Yeah, multiple levels of seeing how all of this is weather, all of this is waves. They just work in their own spheres of influence and size. Gorgeous. So amazing. And this is all thanks to the really remarkable, this has got to be one of my favorite videos I've ever seen. Thank you very much, Marco DiMarco. You're awesome. So yeah, that was some awesome imagery. Let's go now look at our earthquakes. Let's check out our earthquakes. Can I do side by side for this one? Yeah, I think that works well. Taking a look here at our earthquakes. I'm going to put this a little bit more in front there. Okay, let's go back to, oh man, going back even a couple days is kind of hard to see what's going on. So let's just go look at our major quakes. Let's look at our 3s and over. 3 and over for the past 3 days. Dang. Okay. So there's been a lot of earthquake activity over the past 3 days. Let's see. I don't even know where to start. Down here in the South Sandwich Islands at 29 kilometers depth. That was on the 19th. That was today. 5.2 here on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. At 10 kilometers, says 2.0. And then up here on the 19th at 10 kilometers depth, we had another, we had a 4.5 this time on the tip of Greenland, really right in that North Pole spot. Let's see. Oh, we're going to here. Thank you very much. And we're going to there. All right. Let's see. Let's look at our only our 4s and greater. Can I do that? Let me do that. Wow. So even if we just pare it down to our 4s and greater, we are still just look at all that activity. All over here at all kinds of depths. I don't even have time to click through and show you what's going on here. This is just basically everywhere that moves is moving. We had a 4.2 in the middle of Australia. We had two 5.3s down here at the tip of Antarctica, where the Indo-Australian plate and Pacific plate meet the Antarctic plate. We've got lots of movement out of the Earth here in the Western Pacific in the wave-shaped plate boundary. We've got, of course, a lot of volcanic activity here in Indonesia and the Philippines, and we've got the matching mid-level 4s everywhere. I mean, these guys, these are 4s that are as frequent looking as, like ones and twos. So this is a lot. We had a 6.3 here off the coast of Japan on the 17th, surrounded by a lot of fours on all sides. We've got fours and fives spreading throughout the Asian continent. And like I said last time, we 5.6 was on the 18th. Was it follow 11 on the 18th? That was preceded. First, there were these 4.1s and twos. So that'll be a ripple area in the Phlegraean fields. But these are just the fours. Let's also talk about how there's been a series of upper level fives here in the Baja Peninsula off the coast of Mexico. There's also been a 4.3 down here in near the National Forest there in Southern California. Lots of activity here in Central America as well. So let's just go back to if you take into account the smaller quakes that have rippled through the country, there's aftershocks here in northern Jersey, but also a spread, this 2.4 is all the way out in Lincoln Park, Pennsylvania. So that's something new. We've got, let's see, do we have any viewers? Hello, viewers. I think there's only one viewer, and it's probably the FBI agent who watches me. So, I mean, I don't know if there is one, but if there is somebody assigned to me, you should introduce yourself. I would like to know what your name is. Agent, I'm just going to call you Mulder for now. I'm assuming the only viewer I have is Agent Mulder. Okay. Let's go back to looking at our earthquakes. Sorry, I saw the United States and I got distracted. I forgot that there can be people watching me. Okay. Yeah, lots of earthquake activity moving through here. I wish there was a way I could animate the quakes, but all I can do is go backwards and forwards in time. Like most recent is showing up as the aftershocks in Jersey, but as we make the map going backwards in time, you can see how they popped in. So the color grading on the rings shows how recent they were. So if you can feel that. This is just one day. 2.1 here. There was another one in Bryson City. Is this Bryson City? Next to Cherokee, next to the Koala boundary, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians reservation, and it's kind of their turf. It's all their turf, but really interesting to see earthquakes coming out of this area in particular for that reason. To me, I think it's really interesting when places that are, living with the people who live there have tectonic activity. Which one do we want to pick? Let's go to a different view. Where are we looking at? When we look at view 12, we see the going straight through the earth thing and the angles that these quakes make to each other. This is just looking like a bullseye. I mean, this is just... Oh, it's so beautiful. Let's see. Yeah. Looking like I'm expecting more quakes to show up in Europe. A new... It's not showing me anything new. All right. I'm just going to keep this up here. Yeah, there are so many quakes right now that Earthquake 3D just doesn't even want to show me everything that I'm asking for. So going back a day and a half, this is how many quakes we get showing up. So really hard. I mean, look at this. There's even the plate. Really interesting there. Of the Schumann resonances. Weather. Let's talk about just the weather. Looking here at radar. Yeah, okay. Looking here at radar omega, you can see we've got a high sitting in the middle of the country with these I mean, risk of severe weather was all throughout here today, but I don't think we got very much. There have been some areas where little storms have spun themselves off, but not like, there's not like a whole big swath of severe weather in one area. Like you have these, this looks to me like adiabatic convection, you know, topography driven convection. There's little storms spitting themselves off of the tops of the mountains. There was a little bit of something trying to happen here to the west of Rock Hill, South Carolina. There was also in Birmingham, right before Birmingham, this storm looked a little bit more like something. Really, we're looking at terrain-driven weather here tonight. Let's go ahead and look at our global weather, though, because that's been a little bit more exciting than... our global weather has been more exciting than our U.S. weather today. Let's switch to that one. And, oh, okay. So on null Earth, we are seeing the prevailing winds. At the surface level, got a little bit of a system down here trying to spin itself off of Antarctica. And remember that we are switching from this polar vortex being the tight one to this polar vortex being the tight one. Remember in winter times, the polar vortex at each pole loosens up and expands to cover more of the area, and the vortex loses some of its integrity. But in the summertime, it tightens up. So we got a real tight butthole south pole. But this tight butthole south pole is loosening up as we go in winter months down there, fall down in the atmosphere. So we've got a little bit of a tightening up of our polar vortex, but as you can see, this thing is just a blob. It does not even look like one defined system. As we move up in the atmosphere, you might be able to kind of see a little bit of circulation tightening up. Maybe as we get to the 500 level, okay, we're starting to see maybe a 5-pointed star. But like as we go up to the 250 level, it's not there. It's just not looking cohesive. Looking like maybe we have a wave number of 5 around the North Pole right now, or 6. But I mean, when you're down at the surface levels, these don't even look related. So let's go, actually, let's look at, I want to look at the misery index is always fun to look at. Let's do wind power density. Let's look at total precipitable water. Okay. So you might have heard about flooding in Pakistan and Dubai right now. That is from, I feel like we talked about it the other day. We've got some weird winds going off of the Horn of Africa into, this is like monsoony type winds, bringing we've got a lot of moisture going into the Near East, the Western Asia area, getting a little bit more rain into the desert than usual. So that'll be good for places that are trying to harvest water, but it is not great for places that set up to get that much rain in a day. Like I believe Dubai got like 10 inches of rain in one day or one storm. And I want to go to Zoom Earth so we can see our active, I want to see our active satellite mapped onto the Earth sphere. Oh, I forgot this one. You don't have the sphere. Okay. This will show us. Okay, this is what I was talking about. There's this nice wind coming from the equator that is bringing all kinds of heat and moisture to both Dubai and Karachi. And so let's see. Let's watch this. This is like an atmospheric river event setting up. It looks like it's spinning. There's a circulation here around the Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Pakistan border here. Those Himalayas. Really pretty to see the convection pop up in the Congo, but not when it is going straight towards people who don't have any gutters. Like Dubai, for instance. But we are a little late to show the storm actively on there. let's see, where are we getting heavy precipitations? Okay. So it's not raining too bad there anymore, but we were having quite the bit of rain, moderate rain down here in India, of course. Lots of rain down in Indonesia, and they are getting a lot of ash there too. So I hope that the sulfuric gases aren't mixing with the rain that precipitates down, because that can create sulfuric acid. If that sulfur dioxide from the volcano off-gassing mixes with water in the atmosphere, it can create not just any acid rain, but sulfuric acid rain. So let's pray that they don't have all at the same time down there. Hopefully everyone's okay in Indonesia. Um, let's see. We've got wave after wave coming through the Pacific, heading towards the United States. This is quite the interesting fellow out here in the South Atlantic Ocean. That's a really curious one. That's one I'm going to watch more. And then we're starting to get our Saharan dust clouds, our particulates coming off of the Saharan desert. And that is what feeds hurricanes. So our hurricane season is forecast to be extremely active this year. Not just because of our El Nino phase, but also because our sea surface temperatures are really well above average. Well above average doesn't even begin to touch how warm our oceans are right now. In fact, let's take a look at ocean sea surface temperature anomalies. Yeah. So when you just look at the sea surface temperatures, you're like, that's not that bad. But when you look at the anomaly, you're like, oh, everywhere is anomalously hot. This is not great. This is soupy bathwater. Soupy bathwater coming to stir up the getting stirred up by the Saharan dust. This is where the lows form, or are supposed to form. This is where they're supposed to form in the Atlantic and roll straight through to the Gulf of Mexico, or slam into the Atlantic side of the East Coast. Currently showing our current patterns. Yeah, the paint season, because this is all a lot of extra. Take a look at any of these going to show volcanic ash very well. Oh yeah, here, this is this is really showing the dust. This is showing the dust plumes. So this is something that would be good cloud condensation nuclei. This would be good things for water to grab onto and start making a cloud that would start making a hurricane. Okay, yeah. Not showing anything that can be an analog for volcano very much. Let's look now at our... Let's take a look at our Schumann resonances. Okay, so past 2 days, pretty strong Schumann resonances. I would say we've had a lot of I mean, the activity, the power doesn't stop coming. Every day it seems like we're having these whiteout conditions on the Schumann resonances. And even though we are now, I guess, they're putting us at 10:30. And that is UTC plus, it's like 3 UTC into April 20th here. So last night at midnight, they would have been showing here. Yeah. So last night was, I don't know if y'all have felt ungrounded or dysregulated or a little detached or had stomach issues, or I know a few women who have had some stomach issues since the end of the eclipse. I've also heard from other people that is people birthing a new world into existence. But right now, it just seems like a lot of my friends have tummy aches, which is, I think, related to this increased Schumann resonance power distribution. It looks like a daily thing, honestly. Let's see where our frequencies have ended up. Let's see where our frequencies have ended up. Okay. Whoa, they're looking pretty elevated. They are looking significantly elevated to me. Mode 4 all the way up to peaked at 26. Mode 1 peaked at 8.3. Remember, the average for that one is 7.83. Mode 2 has peaked at 1450. Remember, the average for that one is around 14 itself. Mode 3 has peaked at 20. So we are looking at, and that again is picking out where the center of the wavelength is, the center of the curve of most of the power being sent into that mode. I'm not explaining that very well, but I'm going to keep explaining it until I figure out a good way to explain it better. Okay, so right here, last night, around about 24 hours ago, around midnight last night, we had a big spike. And that started like 10 hours before. So yesterday afternoon into last night, last evening, there was a lot of energy coming into the planet from our ionosphere. So it totally makes sense that we are seeing such elevated earthquake activity. To me, it makes sense. Let's see. And our Q factor went up a lot there. Really kind of going crazy here in mode 2. I think that's the beta brainwave, so that can make people feel really dysregulated as well. Now let's go from our ionosphere to what fuels our ionosphere, the interplanetary magnetic field coming from our sun. And look at that. We have had some big Bertha coronal mass ejections. Here's that type 4. We had 3 potential full halos. One's here. All right, that doesn't look too spectacular on the GIF. One's here. That's from that side of the sun. And then those were both on the 18th. This is on the 19th. Oh, yeah. That was a pretty good launch, too. Looking healthy. Let's see. I'd say the 19th we had like 10 discrete coronal mass ejection events. So that's pretty exciting. The solar wind speed is moderately high at 25 kilometers per second. Yeah, look at that. We're in the higher wind speed. Our interplanetary magnetic field is solidly north, so unfortunately not looking good for coupling for aurora photography, but that doesn't help, or it doesn't matter too much because our moon phase is so large. We've got a waxing gibbous moon. It's pretty close to being full, and it's also joining Black Moon Lilith right now. So that is our apogee point. So the moon is big, bright, P7 threshold reached. KP of 6, KP of 5. Hemispheric power got up there today. We've had quite the active solar weather day today. We are still in a moderately strong storm. We were in a strong storm at the beginning of the day, and as the day has gone on, we've gone into the moderate storm. We're in moderate storm territory. But let's see. KP index today. Do I have that? Yeah, look at that. Planetary K index got up to 7 today, between 18 hours and 21 hours of the 19th, as observed at Potsdam. Wow. So that is a lot of energy. That, again, no wonder we're having so much. No wonder the Schumann resonances are so charged up. We got a lot of high speed wind coming at us, and we've got a lot of that's causing a lot of precipitation of charge, I bet. Let's look at our solar flares. Okay, so we have been rocking and rolling in the M class territory the past few days. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. We've had a lot of M class flares here. So we did peek into R1 radio blackout levels a couple times in the past 48 hours, and we're down to C territory now, but that's just what's coming off the sun in itself, not what's getting to us. We're really getting hit by all those previous M's now. But we do have we're at a 75% more chance of M class flares. We're at a 20% chance of X flares. Let's see. Let's take a look at. We also saw there was a tornado. There's a solar tornado that made headlines. So let's take a look at the high cadence imagery of 193 angstroms. Unless I just froze my computer. Maybe. Okay. No, don't ask me why my computer thinks I'm retiring. That's false information. My targeted ads don't know what they're talking about. All right. So we're getting a little bit of popping and sizzling here in the southern hemisphere of the sun. This is a gorgeous view. Very active, very bright. I understand why we've got such high solar wind. I think this tornado up here is what, or no, somewhere up here is a little plasma tornado on the sun that made some headlines. But overall, okay, there's some launches there. Just some beautiful sun activity. Not much to write home about. Can't see many big whooshes. Again, this one's having issues. I think we are getting some Earth-directed launches. And, I mean, oh, yeah, I totally forgot that some of our previous coronal mass ejections were forecast to hit the Earth on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So we have been getting those storms, baby, for sure. Let's take a look at if we are forecast to get any more headed this way soon. I'm going to close some of my programs because this is getting a little bit demanding. I already told y'all that we did have some that my computer was having some hard times today. It was having some feelings. My computer was having some issues, so I don't want to push it too hard. You know, gotta baby it. I still don't even know if it's going to do its shutdown procedure correctly. All right. I think that maybe this is a sign that we're not supposed to look at that. So let's just go straight to today's planets. As I was looking forward to the other day, we are in a Venus day, and we started the broadcast in a Venus hour, and now we are in a Mercury hour. Venus day, Venus hour is how I love to broadcast. That's how I like a Friday night. We've got Moon conjunct Black Moon Lilith here in Virgo. That is actually opposite my natal Moon conjunct Black Moon Lilith in Pisces. And in the sky right now, it's opposed by Mars in Pisces, which is squarely between, sitting like right directly between Saturn and Neptune. So right between reality and complete unreality dreamland. We are creating we're taking action, we're taking martial action from both what is extremely concrete and real and what is extremely ephemeral and imagined. That is also precipitating down into our physical bodies by way of this Virgo moon. So if your physical body, if your gut health is feeling off, go stand and stare at the moon and have your bare feet on the ground and tell me if you feel better after that. It is now, we are officially in the Jupiter conjunct Uranus time. And what a great weather time for that to happen. Jupiter and Uranus are two planets that I associate with weather and meteorology and atmospheric stuff. We now have the sun has officially ingressed into Taurus. We are in Taurus season. So now we have 3 planets in Taurus instead of Aries. And I can already feel more stable. I really like this sextile between this conjunction and Mars here and having the moon in it. It's just feeling right for me, you know? But I understand that this is not going to feel right for a lot of people because we did just have Mercury in retrograde go past Venus and Aries. So Mercury retrograde, people already don't even know anything about astrology and they know they don't like that. And once you start learning a little bit about astrology, you're like, oh, I don't like Venus in its area right now, and fortunately, nice earth and water placements right now. Our air and fire placements are the ones a little out of whack. But I say that, but the sun is about to square Pluto in Aquarius, so don't feel all la good times feeling great about the earth yet, because something about Pluto and Aquarius might come smack you in the face with that. But for right now, I'm feeling very earth angel. How about you? Sun in Taurus, moon in Virgo. I love when we have an earth moon season. That's a great feeling, because it feels like the earth signs don't really get on my side a whole lot. And so when the earth signs have to acknowledge that it is in fact Taurus season, that makes me feel good. They have to slow down. Hold your horses, Capricorn and Virgo. Sometimes you need to slow your roll and stop and smell the flowers. That is the moral of Taurus season. Let's stop and smell the flowers while we have them. Yeah. And speaking of morals and lessons and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and go to doing our card pull for today. Go to our cosmic weather. Oh, yeah. Hello, Luigi Mario. I'm so glad that you're here. All right. So this is the reading for the cosmic weather. Okay, this one jumped out right away. It is contrast that puts the eternalness in eternity. Your own valuable, personal, new desire is always born from contrast. The new desire is then heard and answered by source energy. Thus, the glorious expansion of the universe. We have beautiful dendrites on here, snowflakes, dendrites. That's gorgeous. I love that. Let's take I think next we are going to go with the tarot. And let's get this back. I'm going to put these cards out as I get them. And can I? No. I have to just, okay. Here we go. All right. All right. Let's see. What is the cosmic weather for going with it is contrast that puts the eternalness in eternity? Trying to shuffle quietly. Maybe one day I will have my own place where I can shuffle as loudly as I want. But until then, I'm going to shuffle respectfully. Contrast that puts, all right. And we've got the Hierophant reversed again. This is the second time in a week that I've gotten the Hierophant reversed. So I really like that. I just like that energy for the world a lot. The Hierophant is the establishment order of all religious knowledge, the way that we concretize spiritual knowledge into the physical world by using ritual and order and religious structures in order to keep knowledge down. Like, oh, we know this stuff is good. This is the good knowledge. Let's keep this. Let's remember this. And how do you keep and remember knowledge forever that might liberate people and put them at risk of not being able to be used as power pawns? Well, you have to keep the secret knowledge hidden, but you need to be regularly dispensing that secret knowledge out, or else it's tainted and loses its oomph. So reversing the Hierophant to me is spilling the beans behind the scenes. And I like the crumbling of the structure. I like that energy. Last one. We're going to go for postcards from the liminal space. Oh, that's too many. That's far too many to read all of them. I just would like one card, please, from... All right. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. And it's got somebody waiting for a train here. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. Let's see what they've got for this. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. A cyclical, silent war with the self. The game is rigged and there are no winners. You could wait it out for a sense of certainty that may or may not come, or just go ahead and speak your truth, as nothing pins doubt into place like silence. Fear is a liar. Life is for the living, and you are invited. So, if you're alive, you're invited. You're supposed to be here. If you're alive, you're here. You're supposed to be. Don't doubt yourself. That erases you from the world of the living. Let's dwell in our contrast right now and understand where we're holding ourselves back. I feel like I'm holding myself back in self-doubt a whole lot. And in order for us to spill the beans, to spill the tea, to overturn the Hierophant, I gotta look inwards. This is also the Taurus card. This is the card that this is the major arcana that's associated with Taurus. So this is very much the energy of Jupiter conjunct Uranus on Taurus Sun ingress. So let's not doubt ourselves. Let's Trust our intuition. Let's overturn some power structures by trusting ourselves. Okay. Well, that's going to be about it for me, y'all. Thank you so much for coming to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. I love you all very much, and I will see you soon. Have a great evening. Goodbye.